All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going under the hood, deep into the plumbing of the entire global financial system. And we're going to talk about this really interesting piece of new infrastructure called the Canton Network. It's a blockchain, but it's built from the ground up for the biggest financial institutions on the planet. You know the story, right? The financial system is broken, it's ancient. Public blockchains were supposed to be the answer, the big fix. But they ended up creating a whole new set of problems, especially for the big guys. So what if there's another option, a third way? And this really lays out the two terrible choices that finance has had. You've got your traditional system, which is just unbelievably slow. We're talking days to settle things, systems that don't talk to each other, using faxes and emails. Yeah, seriously. Then on the other side, you've got public blockchains, like Ethereum. Cool tech for sure, but there's just no privacy for institutions, which is a total deal breaker. And the scalability? Man, one popular app can clog up the entire network. So for the big, regulated markets, neither of these really works. Okay, so where did this whole idea for a third way even come from? Well, what's so fascinating is that it didn't come from some tech startup in a garage. Nope, it came from right inside the beast, from the very heart of finance. And it started with a company called Digital Asset. And this is the key. You have to look at who started this thing. Yuval Ruse, the CEO, talks about his co-founder coming from DRW Trading, starting Cumberland Mining. These guys were deep in the trenches at places like DRW and Citadel. They weren't outsiders looking in. They were building some of the biggest trading operations in the world. So they saw the incredible potential of blockchain tech, but they also knew firsthand all the rules and requirements that big banks just can't ignore. And this is maybe the biggest difference between them and, well, almost every other crypto project out there. They didn't just launch with a cool website and a white paper. These spent a decade, a whole 10 years, building and testing their core tech. They got it into production with huge financial institutions, proving it could handle trillions in transaction volume before they even launched the Canton Network itself in 2023. It's the complete opposite of that launch first, fix it later mindset we see so often. All right, so how does this third way actually work under the hood? What's the magic here? Well, it really boils down to two key pieces of technology that work together perfectly, a language called DAM and the network protocol itself called Canton. So first up, you've got DAML. Think of DAML as the language. It's how you write the rules for any financial agreement. But here's the game changer. Things like privacy and who's allowed to do what, they're baked right into the language itself. They're not an afterthought you have to bolt on later, which is where a lot of mistakes and exploits happen in other systems. With DAML, it's private and secure by default. And then there's Canton. So if DOM is the language the contracts are written in, Canton is the network that lets all those contracts, all those different applications actually talk to each other. It's the interoperability protocol, basically the magic layer that connects everything while keeping it all private and performing like it should. The absolute best way to wrap your head around this is to think about the internet, right? You've got public things like Wikipedia running alongside your super private, walled-off online banking portal. And if Wikipedia suddenly gets 1 billion new users, does your bank's website slow down? Of course not. That's exactly how Canton works. It's a network of networks. Each application is its own thing. It doesn't slow anyone else down. That's a huge deal for scalability. So let's walk through it. Real simple. Step 1, a bank connects to the network with its own private node. Step 2, when they want to transact with someone, their nodes communicate, but only on a need-to-know basis. The data is encrypted end-to-end. And step 3, this is where it gets really powerful. Different applications can now interact with each other seamlessly. Imagine trading a tokenized bond for digital cash in one single, bulletproof transaction. It either all happens or none of it does. That's called atomic settlement, and it's a holy grail in finance. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But here's the thing. This isn't a test net. This isn't some coming soon project. This stuff is already live and processing absolutely mind-boggling amounts of real money. We're talking trillions. Just look at the repo market. This is deep, critical plumbing for the financial system. The massive fintech company Broadridge has an application running on this tech, and it's processing over, get this, $4 trillion a month in tokenized U.S. Treasury repos. That is happening as we speak. And it's not just one thing. Let's talk about syndicated loans, a total nightmare of a market. Super complex and manual. Well, there's a platform called Versana, which was started by a group including, just JP Morgan, Citi, and Bank of America, and they're running it on Canton. They're managing over $900 billion in loans on this thing, making everything way, way smoother.
Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Anytime we talk about a network like this, the big question is, what about the coin? Is there a token? And yes, there is. It's called the Canton coin. But you've really got to understand that its whole reason for being is completely different from almost anything else out there.
So let's just get to it. Can I invest in it? Is this the next crypto coin that's going to make me rich? The short answer, no. And the long answer, no. And that is 100% on purpose. Look, most crypto tokens are built for one thing, speculation. The price is supposed to go up. The Canton coin is the opposite. It is a pure utility token. Its only job is to pay for services on the network, that's it. It's actually designed to be inflationary, to discourage people from just sitting on it and hoarding it. And the way they reward people, it's completely upside down from what you're used to.
This right here, this is the most radical part of the whole thing. Think about Bitcoin or Ethereum. Who gets most of the rewards? The miners, the validators, the people running the machines, right? Canton completely flips that. A full 70% of the long-term rewards go to the users and the application providers. The people actually bringing business and value to the network get the rewards. The whole point is to incentivize real use, not just running infrastructure.
So you might be asking, how does this avoid the crazy crypto bubbles we always see? Well, the supply of the coin is constantly increasing, which on its own would push the price down. The only thing that fights that downward pressure is actual usage. When someone pays a fee on the network, those coins are burned. They're gone forever. This means the coin's value is tied directly to how much the network is actually being used, not just hype and speculation.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the big picture here. What does all of this mean for the future of finance? And maybe more importantly, who are the heavy hitters betting that this is the way forward?
Yeah, this is not some tiny startup. We're talking about the biggest names in the game. Goldman Sachs, Citadel Securities, HSBC, BNP Paribas. I mean, the list is a who's who of global finance. Even Circle, the company behind USDC, is involved. And to make sure the governance is legit, they've brought in the Linux Foundation. This is as serious as it gets.
So, what about the competition? You hear about other enterprise blockchains like Corda or Fabric. And look, they're powerful, for sure. But their big problem is they tend to just create new, faster silos. Each network is its own little island. Canton's entire reason for existence, its core DNA, is interoperability. It was built from day one to be a network of networks, to connect to those islands, not just build better ones.
And that really brings us to the final and kind of mind-blowing question. Forget about crypto for a second. Think about all the real-world assets, stocks, bonds, commodities, real estate. What happens when you can take all of that, trillions and trillions of dollars, and make it instantly programmable and interoperable on one single secure network? What kind of world does that create? Because that is the future Canton is trying to build.